Hi there folks, welcome to RRTV's live and exclusive coverage of the Australian Online Supercar Championship, coming to you live tonight from Circuit of the Americas, and it's round 9. We've got quite a full house here of commentators, which is great to see, and we've got Bailey Hall next to me. He will be calling the action with me. We've also got Daniel Leet. He'll be our pit reporter tonight and letting us know exactly what the teams are thinking down there and how they're going to attack any strategy, as well as any dramas. We've also got Chris Hinton. He's around the track in the grandstands with the spectators, and he'll be reporting in on any incidents we find. But before we get into it, Bailey, welcome back, mate. It's going to be another big night. We've got a huge field out there qualifying at the moment.
Yeah, thanks, Bernie. Yeah, it's great to be back up in the comm box for another week here today at COTA, Circuit of America, and we're on the West Circuit today. It should be a good show.
It certainly should be, and I tell you what, COTA is a quite exciting track as in the long configuration. Having it in the West configuration, that's going to be very exciting. But I guess they're pretty much racing this configuration because that's what the V8 Supercars raced when they actually went over to this track.
Yeah, just a little bit of a shorter track for the V8 Supercars. Helped them out a bit. Should be a very different track. I've only raced around here a couple times myself, so got a little bit of knowledge of the track, but not much of the West track. What about yourself, Bernie?
Not a lot. I've driven both configurations, but I haven't had a lot of time around this circuit. Quite honestly, it's probably one of the circuits that I don't like the most, but I know a lot of people do like this circuit, so I think it's going to be pretty exciting all in all.
Yeah, definitely, with very open track layout, like Spa almost, but those fences can catch you off guard quite easily if you hit those ones, if you race over.
Yeah, the big thing is watching those bollards, as I call them, on the inside of the curves. If they catch a wheel on those, they can definitely cause some sort of suspension damage, as well as potentially unsettling the car big time.
Yeah, definitely, as you see a few cars go around on the track, hitting those bollards, you'll see them go out sideways, or they can even hit the wall quite easily, and the grass even here today will take them out quite easily, and that could be even race over.
Certainly can, and while the qualifying's going, we might cross to Daniel Leet, our pit reporter. So Daniel, we were talking a bit off air about fuel burn and some of the strategy the drivers will be looking at. Can you give the viewers some very roundabout numbers, nothing in detail, just sort of so they can know what to expect?
Yeah, okay, mate. So we're looking at least one stop, definitely probably tyres as well for today. We're going to have fuel range anywhere from inside the first 10 laps to round about lap 25, I dare say. Most guys will probably take a full range of tyres and probably somewhere in the round of 40 to 50 litres of fuel, thereabouts, to get them home.
Yeah, and from what I understand, they've got a tank capacity tonight of 75 litres. Incident limit 25, so that's going to be interesting to keep an eye on as this race progresses. And I guess the other one, Bailey's 36 laps around here. Doesn't sound like a lot, but I think the guys will work up a bit of a sweat by the end of tonight.
Oh, for sure, Bertie. 150k, one of the shorter races in the Australian Online Supercar Championship for sure. But with a load of drivers here tonight, we currently have 42 cars qualified with up to 50 cars able to rid the field. There'll be a lot of carnage happening in turn 1.
There certainly will, and we'll hold our breath for that. Hopefully we won't have as much carnage as we did at Oran Park that day, where there was a massive crash on the start-finish line, but we'll see how they all go. And let's have a look at our weather at the moment as well. So basically, you can't see a track map. I didn't put one up, but 16 turns tonight, length of 4 kilometres, fairly short circuit. Sky out there today, mostly cloudy. Wind speed 14 kilometres an hour with humidity 50. Track temp, well, it's 31 degrees Celsius. It's not too cold, not too hot. And an air temp of 25 degrees today.
Yeah, sitting in those cars, 31-degree track temp. Definitely still a hot track though, Bernie. And you'll see a lot of sliding on the first couple of laps as those tyres get up to the correct around this track. As you see a lot of elevation in the track throughout it. Will definitely catch a few drivers off guard.
Oh, it certainly will, and it's going to. The other thing that might catch a few off guard is the the new drive line. But I'm pretty sure most of the drivers will have got their head around it. Last week there was quite a few unhappy drivers, so we'll see how they cope with that tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just going to read off a couple quick facts. I was keeping a little bit of a secret to you, Bernie, till now. So, 168 hours ago, we were at Montreal. 162 hours ago, we crowned our winners from last round. And those three I'll read off were Ian Ford and the ERA with Luke Harvey, Riley Blythe with Brent O'Brien in second position, another ERA car, and in Laser Racing, Brian Borg and Phil Biggett definitely were your three, and those six will be definitely ones to look out for tonight.
Yeah, they're all out there at the moment. You can see Brian Borg in the Laser, plumbing and electrical entry. He's currently sitting in 8th position, and his best time was a 1:33.091. Provisional pole at the moment is by David Moore for Synergy Sim Racing, and they've got a great livery on that car tonight. His time, a 1:32.033. So they're quite spread out. Only the top four are in the 1:32s at the moment.
Yeah, and all the way down in 18th is when we hit the 1:34 bracket of drivers with Chris Purnell down there. But if we jump back up on top, as you said, 5 cars in the 1:32s, and Henry King just missing out on hundredths of a second. So he'll be one to look out for tonight, definitely.
Yeah, for sure, and they've still got 7 minutes of qualifying to go, so there's plenty of time. You can see Henry there, he's carrying a new livery tonight. He's sponsored by Zuva, so it's great to have them on board, and a great livery for us to look at as well.
Even one with the team name that was very long, the domain one last week.
Yeah, there was a very long one. I'm not sure if that's here this week. There was a domain4u.com.au or something like that.
Yeah, can't exactly remember, but that's a very nice livery. I like that one for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And then we've got the old classics here, the Logitech sponsored Ian Ford for ERAs out there at the moment, sitting 4th. His best time of 1:32.615. And we'll see if he can improve. He's got to pretty much improve by 0.6 of a second to take pole position.
He's got a lot of work to do, but you'll see he's not much of a qualifier, but when it comes down to race time, he is ready to rumble. He's got a lot of speed, as he showed last week. Goes out sideways there and locks the rears.
Yeah, nice recovery though, and a good donut, but he's parked it. And he'll probably go back and get new tyres on that car. I'm just seeing who else is out there. Michael Cracknell, he's in the sister Logitech sponsored car, currently sitting in 5th in the 005, and it looks like he's on a bit of a fast lap as well.
Jumping back a little bit, you got Peter Statler in 8th position for the Stealth Sim Sport. Sponsored by Pagnian Advanced Simulations. They've got a nice livery, as we saw last week as they released that one. That's a very nice car, and he's currently flying at the moment.
Yeah, he certainly is, and it's great to see Pagnian there backing them. I think they also backed this series, if I'm correct. So it's great to have them on board. I tell you what though, Bailey, you can see it already. These guys are trying to get free air to put in a fast lap, and the traffic is heavy as anything out there at the moment.
Yeah, now 46 is qualified with Andrew Johnson currently rounding out the field. New cars still to qualify though, so we'll see if they will get out and get a couple laps in quickly, or sorry, 1 lap in at least before we get ready to go green light racing.
Yeah, and this is going to be the trick, isn't it, for them? They've got 4.5 minutes to get a good time out of here. They've got to pick a gap in the track or in the traffic and hope that they can get a clean fast lap in without too much interference by other drivers.
Yeah, it's such a small track, the West Circuit layout. It's quite hard to find like air in the front of the car just to get that few extra tenths out of the car with so many cars in front of you banking each other up, and once you get 4 or 5 cars in front of you, it's quite hard to even get a decent lap in at your average lap times.
Yeah, exactly right, because 4K is not a big lap at all, and it's quite a technical lap around here as well. We can see Todd Parks at the moment getting it out sideways as he's after a better time. He's currently sitting 18th position, his best time of 1:33.901, and it looks like he's backed out of it as the car spun in front of him, but a lot of work to do for him to try to get in the top 10. And what did he do? 1:33.872, but still not enough to improve.
Yeah, a little bit of a point in qualifying at this point for Todd Parks, and he's definitely shown some speed earlier in the season. It just might not be his round, Bernie.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, if you want to be up the pointy end of a grid, tonight might be the night, because we've got a massive field. They come into the top of the hill into a hairpin, and you really want to be up the front end of that field when they hit that corner, because if any cars come unstuck in front of you, there's going to be absolutely nowhere to go, and it'll just be massive carnage.
Yeah, very, very tight apex there. It's almost like a 180-degree turn, Bernie, and coming around there yourself, you'll find you'll cut that corner quite a fair bit coming from the wide angle. And a lot of cars will do it for the dive bomb there and see if they can gain a position on each other.
Yeah, well, you've got quite a wide approach, haven't you? And then you've got that sharp left, and then that wide approach pretty much funnels into the exit, as we see in the background, the two-way South boys coming together, and that ends both their qualifying. And yeah, so it really tightens up, doesn't it, on that exit? And if you're in the middle of that pack, you're gonna get panel damage.
Oh, for sure. And if you just race up the track a little bit, you've got your S's or chicanes, more of an S's, sorry, and they will throw a few drivers off by guard. Not if they have too much speed coming through, then they might not get around the corner enough, and they'll have to check up a little bit just to get around. So that run straight through the middle of those, or hit your bollards, as you call them.
Yeah, I call them bollards, but they feel like bollards. I actually rolled a skippy hitting one of those, would you believe? And I rolled it, pretty much cartwheeled it down the track.
Yeah, I call them a pain in the butt.
Yeah, that's a non-technical term, the pain in the butt. But yeah, they're pretty much that as well.
Yeah, for sure. As they've got about 1.5 to 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes of qualifying remaining, so they might get anyone starting a lap, might grab one more lap out of here, see if they can improve their times.
Yeah, so at the moment, folks, your top 5, we've got David Moore, provisional pole, Riley Blythe, you can see him in the pits. He's in second at the moment. Glenn Postlethwaite, third. Ian Ford, he hasn't improved, he's still in fourth. And Michael Cracknell, who's also not on the track at the moment, is sitting in 5th position. So
yeah, it's out of 6 is Ryan O'Sullivan at the moment. Out of 7th is Luke Harvey. 8th is Henry King. 9th is Peter Sattler. And rounding out your top 10 is Brian Borg.
And Ian Ford's just finished his hot lap. He's actually improved. He'll be starting out of 3rd position at the moment with 12 seconds to go. His time, a 1:32.452.
Yeah, he's showing some speed, and getting up on that inside line for the start will help, as you'll get a bit of a better run off it than anyone else on the outside, as they'll probably get caught up in a lot of the carnage of checking up. So 2 minutes to go in qualifying.
Yeah, definitely. And Daniel, before we get into calling this race, what's the vibe down there in pit lane? And are the teams excited to be here tonight?
Yeah, generally it's a pretty good atmosphere down here. Most guys are quite happy. Temperatures are really good, so the drivers are going to love it. They're going to be able to extract the most out of their cars as well. So I think we're going to see pretty quick times all round, and the pace currently with qualifying is definitely proving that as well.
Fantastic. Well, there'll be a lot of action for you down there in pit lane, I can guarantee, tonight. And these races are quite interesting, aren't they, Bailey? We covered the 650, which is quite a slow type of tempo. Once you get to these 150s, though, the boys put on their anger pants and they go at it.
Oh, with not many laps, only 36 laps to do the job. A lot of drivers will be very impatient, which catches them off guard sometimes with not knowing what the other drivers do around them, and they'll push those gaps that you wouldn't normally do in a 650, and you'd wait for someone to have a mistake. But you'll see a lot of drivers doing some very risky moves tonight.
Certainly will, and we've got some drivers in the midfield finishing, but I reckon, Bailey, let's go through the grid, because we've got a huge grid to go through tonight, and let's see where your favourite driver is starting tonight, folks. So starting out of pole position tonight will be David Moore, followed by Riley Blythe in second. Mick Cracknell, he'll start out of third tonight, followed by Ian Ford. Looks like he's been pushed down to fourth. And Posy, he's going to start out of fifth. Out of sixth is Ryan O'Sullivan, followed by Jake Maloney in seventh. Eighth, Luke Harvey. Henry King will start out of ninth, and Pete Sattler rounds out your top 10.
Out of 11th is Brian Borg, and on his outside will be Craig Jones in 12th position. In 13th is Thomas Hins. 14th is Michael Ford. Out of 15th is Michael Telijanich. Out of 16th is Nick Cummings. Out of 17 is Sean Evans. 18, Todd Parks. 19, Sean Thompson. And rounding out your top 20 is Chris Pennell.
Out of 21st tonight is Daryl Carter, followed by Nathan Tregarthen. I think it's Brian Myers out of 23rd and James 24th. Pitt will start out of 25th. Out of 26 will be Maris, that's Brody Maris, followed by Chappell in 27th. Jackson will start out at 28th. 29th, Clowett, and rounding out your top 30 is Purdon.
31st, Brenton O'Brien. Jamie Owens will go out of 32. Mark Samuel, Darryl Hockey, Stephen Varga, Alan Holgerson, Jamie McKnight, Cody Trainer, Tony Picken, Adam Weinberg, Tony Gaffer, Simon Mezzomo, Matt Toykins, Greg Hamilton, Nick Hausler, Wayne Stroff, Mark Pavlich, Andrew Johnson, Damien Charleston will round out your top 49.
Yeah, we can see Adam Zeidinger down there in 50, but I'm not sure if he's running tonight, so we'll have to wait and see. But a massive field here tonight at Circuit of Americas.
Yeah, they'll get ready to get the lights underway in a minute. Can't wait to call the action tonight, Bernie.
Oh, it's going to be on. I hope you're ready to call it, because generally these races, they happen so fast we can hardly keep up.
Yeah, I'm ready for some fun tonight, as the lights will be getting ready to go off soon. A couple more people to get on the grid.
Yeah, and I've reset all our overlays, so let's see if we can find where our pole sitter is.
Up front, Bernie, come on.
Yeah, I know it's up front, but it doesn't show me up front. Okay, so we're under starters orders here, and we're going to be racing very shortly. And green flag here at Circuit of the Americas as they come up the hill for the first time, folks. Hold your breath. It's going to be on. We can see David Moore at the moment. Great start by him.
Or wide and turn one a little bit further back. The front half of the pack gets through. So around goes a Stealth Sim Sport car back there.
Yeah, it sort of held up a lot of the field. It looks like most of the guys are now through, and I'm just trying to get the name of that. I think that might have been Nick Hausler being turned around. But up the front at the moment, we've got David Moore leading first. Glenn Postlethwaite, great start from him in second. Michael Cracknell third. Riley Blythe, he's sitting in fourth. Fifth is Ian Ford.
And Ford lost a position on the start. Luke Harvey and Henry King both make up 2 positions there. Pete Sattler's now in the top 10, and Brian Borg runs it, finish the top 10 as they go 3 wide.
Yeah, it's crazy back here, isn't it? And we can see the drivers now as they're just trying to weave their way through the infield of Circuit of Americas for the first time. And we've got another car around in the back there. I think it's one of the Chiani cars was spun. And not sure which one that was, but all the drivers seem to have negotiated that.
Yeah, a bit further up front, Pete Sattler had a little bump and grind with the Synergy Sim Racing car up there.
We just had one of the Pagnian cars. The PRA just got served. He's cutting the infield. He's going to get an off track, and the HTR 028 has looped it coming onto the main straight. And I'm just trying to get a name of that driver. It was Kyle James.
And another HDR car jumps into the pit lane already. So not sure what's happening down there. We'll have to get a bit of check-up from Daniel later to see what happened there. But it looks like a laser racing car. I think it's a 015. Possibly, don't count me on that one. No, not the 015. I'm not quite sure, but he's got a missing boot at the moment.
Okay, so we'll try and get more info on that and see which driver's in trouble out there at the moment. Maybe Chris can fill us in on that. So at the moment out front, it's David Moore, Glenn Postlethwaite. He's getting a bit of pressure now by Mick Cracknell, Riley Blythe. Ian Ford, he's dropped off a bit, and he's got his teammate Luke Harvey right behind him. Henry King, he got a great start. He's sitting in 7th position at the moment.
And Nick Cummings now made it up to 8th position. He started in 16th position. He's made a lot of ground up already. Along with Todd Parks, he's up into 11th now. He's made 7 positions.
Yeah, so we just had a bit of news out there from our race reporter. The 066 got turned around. That was Simon Pitt, and it looks like he's got that car going again. He's sporting a little bit of damage there on the left front fender, but that shouldn't affect him too much. See another Pagnian car going around. The 047, I think that was. I tell you what, Bailey, they're having trouble getting the foot down onto that front straight because it's such a sharp turn, and it looks like a lot of them are just over-gassing it.
Yeah, the 085 of Sean Thompson is now missing a bonnet. He'll have a little bit of downforce trouble going through the S's, as he's got the number 71 of Ryan O'Sullivan in behind him, trying to get a couple of positions. He looks to go up the inside.
Yeah, and have we got any news down there in the pits, Daniel, at the moment? How are the drivers reacting to this crazy start here?
Yeah, a little bit of damage to begin with. There's a couple of guys have already ducked in just for some minor repairs. I'm assuming a couple have taken the option of a fast repair to get back out and not lose a lap at this point. Hopefully the race is going to settle down a bit more because none of the team owners are going to want to see too much damage on these cars, but definitely a cracking start to the race so far.
Yeah, it certainly is, and at the moment David Moore's had a cracking start. The gap at the moment 1.3 seconds back to Posey in second, and then you've got that trail, the little train of Cracknell and Blythe. But I tell you what, Bailey, Ian looks like he's dropped back a bit. If anything, he may be holding his teammate Luke Harvey up.
Yeah, Luke Harvey's definitely got a bit more speed than him today. Not sure what's happening to Ian Ford, but he seems to be struggling a little bit. We might have to get a little bit more info later on, see if we can get anything from team garages, but as he seems to be a bit struggling with his steering, he seems to be moving it quite a bit, the wheel, and that could end up being quite tragic for him around such a slippery track and wide track. Bernie?
Certainly can, and we've seen this from Ian on the Oran Park 150. He seemed well off the pace, and it turned out he actually was pulling a big shifty, and he was actually fuel saving from lap 1, and he managed to take that race just based on being able to save enough fuel to minimise his pit stop and take the win. So we could be seeing something along those lines again here tonight.
Yeah, he could do a little fast one on the teams. There's not many teams will take that option as it is such a short race. They'll be just looking to get the car out there in front as far away as the car behind him as possible. But David A. Moore now up about 2 seconds on top of Glenn Postlewaite.
Now I'm just having a look back in the telemetry, folks, because I just had word that there was a bit of an incident with Brendan Jackson in the 402, so I wanted to see if I can actually find that. Doesn't look like it's coming up, but we can see at the moment Brendan driving the car forwards, which is a good sign, and it doesn't look like he's carrying too much damage on that car.
He's got a little bit of damage down the right side of the car, but that shouldn't hold him up too much as he's trying to get past Pav at the moment.
Yeah, and looks like Pav's carrying a bit of damage on his car, so these two might have come together. As we can see now, Brendan taking the inside as they come onto the main straight, and he should be able to take the KRF driver here as they come into the turn 1, that sharp hairpin.
Well, it was a beautifully presented car, that Kiani car. They've got a very nice livery on the last few weeks, so they've done a very well done job with that one. Great English Bailey. And the West End Mazda, they had a nice livery coming into the round 2.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of nice liveries out there. Some of them are not so nice now, scuffed up, but up the front they they're in the right spot. They've stayed out of trouble. But David Moore now 1.7 seconds over Glenn Postlewaite in second. The lap times, folks, last time through David Moore did a 1:33.515. Posy did a 1:33.117, so he's slowly but surely reeling him back in, and he's not getting a lot of pressure from behind from Mick Crackman.
No, not at all. My little timing thing on the left side, it was saying David Moore was all the way back in 25th position. I was quickly jumping on that and going, what happened there? But he's still fighting up ahead there, as now Todd Parks has made a few positions up. He's in 11th at the moment, and he's making ground onto Thomas Hines.
And we've got Daniel Lee in the pits. Daniel, there's a couple of drivers in pit lane at the moment.
Yeah, we've got a couple here at the moment. We've got Simon Pitt. Looks like he's sporting a bit of damage across the driver's rear corner of the car. He's been in here for a little while now. We've also got Ryan O'Sullivan from ERA in there as well. He's sporting a little bit of damage again on the back, so a bit of contact somewhere on there. And I've just seen we've got Matt Torkins in pit lane as well. So a few boys having a few issues, but hopefully they're back out there very soon.
Fantastic. And Chris, you were telling us the 082's got a bit of strife out there as well, mate.
Yeah, just coming into the last turn there, coming together with another car. I didn't see the other car's number, but yeah, it wasn't good to see.
What's the vibe out there in the grandstands where you are? Are the crowds excited by tonight's race?
Oh, I think they're loving the action at the moment. The boys are sure turning it on. Lots of carnage, which people like to see. Not so good for the drivers and the teams.
Yeah, well, I guess the Texans do love their V8, so I'm assuming they're Texans. Have you listened to their accent?
No, I can't pick anything up from their accent, but I'm pretty sure they are Texans.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, anyway, that's great to hear, Chris. If you find any more info, just cross over to us and we'll let the viewers know. But at the moment, Bailey, it's looking fairly quiet up the front 3 or 4, but it can't be said for further down in the field.
Yeah, the front 4 or 5 have broken away from the pack a little bit more, as I'm just getting a number from earlier, that laser plumbing entry, the 017, sorry, Brian Ball is carrying the damage in the rear end, and that will definitely slow him down later on in the race, as he'll possibly take his fast repair. They are allowed, one fast repair tonight, drivers, so possibly he'll take that one and try to get that car fixed for the second half of the race.
And we can see there, I think Brian might have just got into Brenton O'Brien there because he's dropped back a position. Let's have a look and see if we can pick that up in the replay. I also noticed Brady Myers is carrying a lot of front-end nose damage. Well, he doesn't have a whole bonnet on that car. But let's have a look at this replay. So I have a feeling Brian might have gotten the back of Brenton O'Brien here. So he's coming under a lot of pressure from Brady and he's going defensive. But it all unfolds for Brian. Oh yeah, we can see the MS Limited car getting it a bit squirrely in front of him and spinning in front of Brian. He had nowhere to really go apart from in the side of that car, so that's cost him a position. Hopefully he doesn't have any steering damage.
Yeah, he's got a lot of banged up parts of that car, not just the front end but the back end, so it looks like he's been hit from behind a little bit. Loving the new iRacing update now. I love how you can see the rubber gets off the back tyres now.
Yeah, it really throws it about now, and you can really see it. And it's a great addition to the new update. And of course, we're going to have more updates coming on the 29th of March with iRacing today announcing that's when Dirt's going to be released, and that's going to be another massive update. And I'm sure a lot of drivers will be looking forward to that.
I have been busting for Dirt since it got released. Bernie and I can't wait to get racing. I've got a Dirt background, I've got a V8 Supercar background. But Dirt is my primary one, so hopefully in the future you'll definitely see some Dirt streams and broadcasts.
Yeah, definitely, and I've already thrown my hat in the ring. I'll be racing in the Lucas Oil's Australian Speedway Series in a super late model sedan, so that should be fun.
Hey, you want to go for the big boys? Sprint car, mate.
No, well, the way the Australian Speedway Series is you can't race the sprint car unless you've actually done a season in the lower end cars. So, and quite honestly, I think a sprint car would be too much for me anyway. You need, I don't know, reactions like a young man. Maybe you could drive the sprint car.
Oh, there's a possibility. I've been in one before, I can tell you that. But let's get back over to the V8 Supercars. Let's get off that dirt talk for a little bit. Currently still out in front, he's even more, leading a 2-second gap on Glenn Postlethwaite, but Postlethwaite and Cracknell are having a pretty good battle at the moment.
Yeah, and my apologies to Brendan O'Brien. It wasn't him that spun in front of Brian Borg. I think it may have been his teammate Sean Evans. But don't quote me, folks, there's a lot of ERA cars out here tonight and a lot of different liveries. But Brenton at the moment, he's sitting in 17th and he's coming under a lot of pressure from Sean Thompson, who's also carrying no front bonnet on that car. So the GTI Proforce Racing team, they've also found a bit of strife tonight, and we've still got 28 laps of this race to go.
Can't believe we're already 8 laps. I'm Bernie, I'm just sitting here and I'm going, oh geez, we couldn't be that far laps in, but it's gonna be shaping up for a great ending, I'm sure.
Yeah, it certainly will. The gap out front at the moment, folks, is 2.1 seconds. We're riding on the nose cam here of Daryl Hockey, and just to show you the sort of thing, we might in fact jump into the car with Daryl, and we'll do a lap around COTA so you can get a bit of a feel. You can see there Sean Evans going right in front of him, and he re-enters a track right in front of Daryl. But let's turn the telemetry on and let's do a lap around COTA West. As on cue, we see Sean Thompson going around, and fortunately Daryl continues on. So you can just hear, Bailey, as we're riding with Daryl, just how much they've got to feather the work or feather the throttle here. And there's one of the bollards he just hit. They're coming up to here where they'll go left into the infield, and this makes up the COTA West part of the circuit.
Yeah, that little shortcut over to the back half of the track. This is normally where it join on with the full circuit, the classic or the Grand Prix circuit. He'll be looking to chase down in front of him. Is it the Memphis car, Bernie?
The MPMS car. That's Brenton O'Brien. It's sponsored by MPMS Racing Simulators, as Daryl nearly spins it. You can just see that little bollard, as I call it. He just clipped it, and there he goes. He's going to lose it now. So we'll jump out of the cockpit before we get too dizzy. But that just illustrates how challenging this circuit can be in a V8 supercar.
Yeah, he's a little bit camera shy, Bernie, as we call it.
That would be it. And Daniel, you're saying Shane Rayner's in the pits at the moment. Is that a scheduled stop, or is he getting the car repaired?
No, that was a repair. He had a no bonnet, and the front fenders and air dam were all pushed in, so it looks like he's taken fast repair and got that car back out.
Yeah, so his stop was like a 13.1 second. He's down in 44th at the moment, and while you were reporting on that, I noticed there's a few more cars coming through to the pits. And have we had any of them doing this like a reverse fill at the moment, or are all the guys pretty much coming in with damage?
No, it looks like a lot of them's been damaged. Most have been in the 10-second range, so you might see a few possibly trying short stitting on fuel, because we're sort of inside that window now, but definitely a lot of cars that are a bit tore up at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all, and just had a bit of word from our man in the grandstand, Chris, and letting us know there's quite a good battle going on at the moment, Bailey. I'm just trying to find it.
There's good battles going on everywhere, Bernie.
Yeah, there is. So we can see at the moment Chris Purnell, he's all over the back of Sean Thompson. Sean had that spin in front of Daryl Hockey a lap ago, Bailey, and he's dropped back to around about 17th position at the moment.
Yeah, he's having a nice battle with 18th, 19th, and 20th, Chris Purnell, Jamie Owens, and Jake Maloney. Not sure what Jake's doing all the way back there, but he must have had a little bit of trouble at the start of the races. He'll be looking to push up the ranks at the moment as the 092 of Chris Purnell goes up the inside of Sean Thompson.
Yeah, and Sean's pretty vulnerable up there. You can see he's lost another position as Jamie Owens goes on the inside, but he can't hold it. Sean's got a good run out of there, and that's an interesting corner because there's probably a couple of lines you can take that. Sean took it very wide, which meant he could get the exit out of the corner a lot faster than what Jamie Owens could, and now Jamie's coming under pressure from Jake Maloney.
Yeah, Sean Thompson, both damage, seems to be able to push the car forward and catch back up to the 092 of Chris Purnell. Sorry. He seems to be able to catch him a little bit on some of the corners. As you'll see, he'll start trying to catch him through all the corners here. If you can get on his tail and give him a little shake.
Yeah, well, he's looking pretty smooth now, even though the car's looking pretty ruffled, and you can just see there how Sean's getting it off the corner so much better, and he's just closing in on Purnell. In fact, I think Purnell looks a little bit unsteady in the mid-corner and exit of some of these corners.
Yeah, it's a lot more straight line speed, but the corners seem to rough him up a little bit as both of them peel down pit lane.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see if this is a scheduled stop. I'm also looking up the front. I thought we lost David Moore, but it's just a telemetry. David's out there 3.4 seconds and safe, folks, so no heart attacks here. But we can see now Mick Cracknell, he's all over the back of Glenn Postlethwaite at the moment for second position.
Yeah, those two have had a nice little battle there, and even jumping back to 5th and 6th at the moment is Ian Ford and Nick Cummings. They're having a little bit of a good battle as the TTL car tries to get by him. Very good battle there, and even jumping back again, 8th and 9th, Thomas Hines and Todd Parks. They've been battling out for a couple of laps here now.
And I've noticed Luke Harvey, he's had to take a pit stop. I don't know if that was damage or a scheduled stop, but he's sitting down there in 15th position at the moment.
Yeah, Luke's actually already come in, done a stop, so I think that's a scheduled stop for him. We did also just have Chris Parnell and looks like Sean Thompson back in pits again. Those guys are taking scheduled stops too.
And did Sean, did he take a fast repair as well?
Yeah, there was damage on that car, so I believe fast repair's been taken. We've also got Brian Borg just trundling through the lane now. He was missing a rear wing earlier, so I presume the crew will slap a new one of those on the back of the car. It should take probably fuel only at this stage, and then be out again.
You can see him now taking service, and you're right, they have thrown a new rear wing on that car, and he should be a bit pacier. He's dropping down the order. He's about 18th, but considering he's one of the early stoppers, he should find his way back through the field as the rest come into the pits.
Yeah, it also looks like Dale Carter's just coming through again, so I think some of the guys are starting to recognise the window's open now, so we may see a few more stops coming soon. And probably the rest of the guys trying to push to the end for a bit of a lighter fuel run might stay out a bit longer.
Yeah, and have we had any news about not Michael Ford, Ian Ford? He seems off the pace. Have you heard anything about whether he might be fuel saving or anything along those lines?
I'd say so. Just judging by his times at the moment, he's running around 1.4 seconds off the pace. So I'd definitely say fuel savings probably on the cards there. Might be definitely looking to do a short stint, the last one. We just got Sean Thompson back in as well.
Okay, so he's having a dreadful race out there tonight by the looks of it.
Yeah, this will be stop number 2, so I think he's found the wall again. If he's used that fast repair initially, we're going to be sitting here a little while, I think.
Yeah, it looks like the car's pretty much dead in there. I'm just jumping in. Yeah, there's no sound. In fact, I don't even think the driver's exited that car, so he may be retiring there, Daniel, but we'll cross back to you once you've got more information.
No worries.
So Bailey, we can see Ian at the moment. We think he may be doing the fuel saving thing again, but he's got Nick Cummings now on the inside. I guess if you're fuel saving, you're not going to defend that hard, are you? Well, you will, but you won't try to defend as if it's for sheep stations.
I can tell you one thing, Nick Cummings is definitely having trouble getting away in at the moment. You'll see him, he'll get close, but Ian Ford just seems to hold his line, be happy, and just not even worry about him there, and he will just seem to sneak away a little bit, and Nick come back a little bit.
Yeah, on the roof cam now, and you can just see Nick, he's really driving the car hard and using every bit of the track, where Ian just pulls away basically, and that must be very frustrating for a driver if you're behind Ian and you're trying to pass him.
Ian Ford is definitely the guy if you want to learn a fuel save. He's definitely got the tips from the book of fuel saving to the end and getting the right amount of fuel and fuel usage, etc.
Yeah, for sure. So your top 5 at the moment, folks. David Moore is leading. You can see him now in the traffic as he passes the 53, one of the KRF entries. He's leading 3.1 seconds is the gap back to Posy in second. He was coming under pressure from Mick Cracknell, but he's pulled out a gap of 0.8 of a second so far. Then we have fourth is the MPMS entry of Riley Blythe, and then fifth we have Ian Ford, who's now also coming under pressure from Nick Cummings. But having a look at the drivers, we've got a few ERA drivers up there, but I tell you what, Bailey, the ERA boys, they've brought a lot of cars here tonight.
They've got heaps, yeah. I'll be able to tell you exactly how many, but they've got a nice number of cars out the track. They definitely could pick themselves up a pin in the podium.
Oh, for sure, and the drivers of ERA in your top 5, we've got Ian Ford, we've got Riley Blythe up there. Now Riley's just taken a position from Posy, who's in the pits. Mick Cracknell, he's also ERA, and then we've got David Moore leading for Synergy Sim Racing. So once again we're seeing a lot of ERA in the top 5 and some of the Synergy Sim Racing boys in there as well.
Yeah, they always come to show the town as all the way back in position 20 is Mark Samuel in the 33 Dory Explorer with a red back. He has a lot of damage on the back end of his car. He seems to be struggling to find a little bit of pace tonight.
So that's the 23, did you say?
Sorry, 33.
Okay, 33, because once they crack out the Dora Explorer paint scheme, I can tell you exactly what that's for. I'm just trying to find where he is on the track.
Coming up into turn 1, Bernie.
Yeah, we've got a position.
20th.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so basically the tradition with Redback Racing is if during a race one teammate takes out another teammate, they are generally punished, and they're punished by having to carry a pink skin for a number of weeks, and the team normally votes on what they can put on the car that's going to embarrass the driver the most. So tonight you can see Mark is sporting the beautiful Dora Explorer Redback Racing team livery here.
I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be afraid to drive that. I wouldn't mind that one.
No, it's a pretty nice one, isn't it? They always do a good job there, and I'm sure that's a crowd favourite amongst all the kids that are here tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and say he dive bombed the teammate and took him out. It's on the front of the car, it says dive bomb.
I'd say you're right. So, yeah, so that's a bit of news. Now, we've got 3 in the pits at the moment, Daniel, and it looks like they're just taking fuel. Is that right?
Yeah, so actually we've had a couple more just come in, but yeah, fuel seems to be where they're aiming at the moment. We just had one of the ERA cars, we've got one of the Stealth Sport cars in here now, and Brodie Mayers is back in the pits, so I think he might have taken a fast repair to get that car tidied up again.
Yeah, and we can see him now just exiting, and he's got that new skin back on it. But yeah, Brady's been in the wars as well. I guess you've probably seen a lot of carnage in the pits tonight.
Yeah, definitely going to be a few bent fenders being sold in the back of the pits later on for a bit of fundraising. But I think just the nature of the track and being a sprint race, there's a lot of door-to-door going on.
Yeah, well, I guess, one thing, if they're racing over here in America and they've got all that panel damage, they don't really want to carry it all the way back to Australia. So a lot of our Texan friends over there might get some good deals at the back of the pits after this race.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to save a bit more on the freight costs home again.
Yeah. Well, if they save too much, I'll just be bringing home open wheelers, and we can see there another driver is on their way in to see you. I didn't get a number, but he's coming in the pits now.
Yeah, so we've got Michael Ford coming in now. Steve Parnell is Pardon is in the pit, sorry. And we've also got Michael Cracknell in the pits as well.
Okay, so they're now starting to do their pit strategies here, folks. At the moment, David Moore, those leading. Ian Ford, he has not come into the pits. He's sitting in second, 12.9 seconds. So, Bailey, if Ian's starting to, if he is fuel saving, we're going to start seeing that strategy unfold now, because we've only got 18 laps of this race to go.
Yeah, halfway home now. So I'm not exactly sure how many laps I'll get out of the tank tonight. We usually do the math later on in the race, but haven't got that time tonight. Yeah, if the fuel saving tactic does come out, and that is what he's doing here, you'll definitely put a surprise on everyone's faces. Definitely worked at Oran Park.
Certainly did. From the numbers, Daniel, I think they get a range of around about 28 laps, roughly, as far as a tank of fuel around here goes on 75 litres. Is that right?
Yeah, you're looking probably a bit closer to the low end of 20, just because you're on the throttle a fair bit through here, this circuit. Just had another 4 exiting, so most guys are averaging around the 16-second stop mark, so probably looking about 40-45 litres of fuel going on board.
Okay. And that'll pretty much get them home from here. Well, of course it will. We've got 17 laps of this race to go, Bailey. And it's quite interesting, mate. It's looking like there's a lot of strategy being played tonight for such a short race. I'm quite surprised.
Yeah, there's Todd Parks and Michael Ford peel off in the pit lane right now. So they'll see how much they get and what they can do, as the top 3 is still out on track at the moment.
Yes, I'm expecting if Ian Ford is fuel saving, which we suspect he is, he'll probably be one of the last to come in, because if anyone can fuel save, it's Ian Ford. And he showed us at Oran Park, we thought he was going to run out of fuel, but he just managed to stay out so long and take advantage of such a short pit stop to take that win.
Yeah, when you get such a short pit stop, no one actually probably understands the thing of it. He's gaining, say he does a 10-second pit stop and these guys are doing an average of 15-second pit stops, guys. He's gaining 5 seconds on these guys just from a pit stop. So say he drops behind the leader right now before, okay, he's 5 seconds behind him right now. That will put him in a contending spot where he will have the speed to chase them down coming into the final laps, and he'll have the fuel too.
Yeah, and if we look at the times he's doing now, the last time was a 1:34. David Moore's now dropped into the 1:35, so David could also be fuel saving. And when we talk fuel saving, folks, what they do is they fuel save to a number. So their strategy will be, okay, we need to get to this lap before we do the pits, and if we get to this lap, this is how much fuel we have to throw into it. So once Ian hits those numbers, he'll probably come out of fuel save mode and start speeding up, which could be the case at the moment. He's one of the faster guys out there at this stage.
Yeah, he's having a nice little battle with Nick Wings at the moment, and just behind them, not just behind them, quite far back is there in 4th position. 5th is Posy and Michael T. We're not going to say his last name because we never say it right. They're having a nice battle back there also.
Yeah, that's Michael Talenjak, and they're about to come together, and there's contact and he spins him around. That's a pretty aggressive move.
Oh, big one hits the Adrian car there. Yeah, that was a very aggressive move there, Bernie.
Yeah, that was Posy spinning one of the drivers around, and that was Michael Talenjak getting the short back and sides. And I tell you what, if the radio is going to erupt at any time, I think it would be about now, because that was so aggressive.
Yeah, Michael Talenjak's now got a lot of damage to carry on with him for the second half of the race. He was definitely in a position there, but he hasn't pitted yet, so he's still got the option to pit now and get fuel and tyres if he has to, and use his fast repair. Yeah,
so it all unfolded. They tripped over each other when they went past the 035. Then what happened was Talenjak put the foot down to try to get in front, and he spun, and Possy's just pushed him down the track, probably about 50 metres until he comes off the front of that nose. Talenjak's gone straight across in front of the 35 and gets cleaned up big time. So, yeah, there's not going to be many happy drivers or team owners out there looking at that incident.
Yeah, and David Moore went down pit lane that moment. Who else has gone down there, Daniel?
Yeah, we just had Nick Cummings come in as well. So 1st and 3rd have come through, fuel only for those guys.
Okay, so our leaders now, Ian Ford, followed by Riley Blythe in 2nd, Mick Cracknell 3rd, Luke Harvey 4th, and then Jake Maloney in 5th. So far, folks, we've got a 1, 2, 3 and 4, all ERA drivers.
Jeez, that's crazy to think, only like the amount of time drivers put into their racing and effort they put into it to make their race go well. ERA just put that over the top a little bit more into it, and this is the results just show with 4 of them in the top 4 positions.
Yeah, for sure. And as far as statistics go, folks, the last car on the lead lap at the moment is Daryl Carter. He's currently sitting in 23rd position, and he's 104 seconds down from the lead.
Yeah, so that means Ian Ford's about 22 seconds behind him at the moment. So he might be able to save his getting laps if Ford goes off to the pits in the next few laps.
Yeah, and the gap from Ian back to Riley is about 19 seconds, so that's going to help Ian if he needs to do any further fuel saving. He's now got the gap, and he can start, Bailey, starting to control this race from the front. which is always the best place to try to control a race.
Yeah, you don't want to be controlling it from the back of the race, that's for sure. As he'll get by a couple of lap ons.
So you can see at the moment Craig Jones on the camera, folks. He's down in he's 19th at the moment. He's made a pit stop. If we look at the drivers that have not made a pit stop, Ian Ford has not stopped yet. Michael Ford, I think that's his brother, has also not stopped. Thomas Hines hasn't stopped, nor has Alan Holgerson. Todd Parks. Deeper in the field is Jamie McKnight. And apart from that, there's a few up the back that haven't stopped, but they're the front runners, so the majority have come through at this point in time. So I'm just having a look. Riley, yeah, he's still behind. It's funny with my telemetry, Bailey, it drops out, and I think Ian's gone into the pits, but then when we click up there, it turns out he's still leading.
Yeah, mine's done that a couple times this race here, whether that's his internet dropping out possibly, and that's what's, he's having electrical issues as they get in the simming world, having a few issues, and he just drops off our telemetry for a second.
Yeah, I find when we have races where we've got like 50 cars, the iRacing telemetry sort of struggles a bit, which is what I suspect is going on once again tonight. But I'm just having a look through the field and trying to pick up some battles that we can show the viewers.
Back in 18th position, Brenton O'Brien and Craig Jones are having a nice battle there. You mentioned earlier they seem to be trying to run each other down, and a few more positions, a few more points towards the championships.
Yeah, and right behind them we've got Daryl Hockey in the Pagnian Stealth Sim Sport entry, trying to hunt down Craig, and in return Craig's trying to hunt down Brenton. And yeah, so they're having a good battle, those three.
Yeah, for sure, Benny. Just quickly doing something else, sorry.
That's alright. A bit of an update on Henry King in the Zuva entry. He's sitting in 10th position at the moment. The car's looking straight. The race looks like it's going to plan, and if it continues the way it's going, he's looking at a top 10 finish, which would be very good. But meanwhile, up front, folks, it's an ERA show. The first, second, third, and fourth are all ERA. Synergy Sim Racing 5th, that's David Moore, as everyone else has stopped, so it looks like he's probably the slowest out of the top 5. His pit stop, 27.1 seconds. Luke Harvey did a 15.6 second stop. Riley Blythe 16.8, but Michael Cracknell a scorching 3 second stop. So the question is, does Michael have enough fuel to get this car home?
Yeah, and coming up on the 25th finishing lap now, that's Ian Ford. Still hasn't pitted yet, though I wonder how many laps he's got to go, but that will be a very, very short stop for him. He'll just pretty much get a splash and dash to make it towards the end. He's now got 13 laps to go.
Yeah, so boys, Ian's just come into pits too, so definitely run longest of the teams out there tonight, so it should be a nice quick stop for him.
Yeah, and Riley's coming through onto the start-finish line now, Daniel. So he's just coming up. What's Ian doing? Has he done his stop?
He's
or is
just
he still
pulled to a stops on the marks. Fuel's going in now.
Okay, so he's dropping down the order. Riley goes through. Looking at Michael Cracknell, he's also going through. And where's Luke Harvey? Luke Harvey's going through. So Ian's going to drop down the order here.
Yeah, definitely a quicker stop, 14 seconds, so a few laps longer has definitely helped him out there.
Yeah, so he's come out in 5th position just behind David Moore. So now that they've all stopped, we've got Riley Blythe leading. He's got about an 8-second gap back to Michael Cracknell in 2nd. 3rd, Luke Harvey. David Moore for Synergy Sim Racing moves up to 4th, and right behind him is Ian Ford. So yeah, it looks like for Synergy Sim Racing, their pit strategy is possibly what's let them down at the moment, and could potentially have cost him a win here. So a couple of our viewers have spotted the number 79 of Alan Holgerson, and they want to know, and you might be able to tell us this, Daniel, is that the Grumpy Cat on the side of that car?
We're just switching over to him now, just 1 second.
We'll get the answer for you, folks. I think there's a Grumpy Cat on the bonnet. I think I can see him there. Yeah, and I think on the side he might be a Grumpy Cat as well.
Yeah, there's a couple on each side of the car and there's a couple on the back bonnet.
Yeah, definitely Grumpy Cat. Well spotted there. That goes to Mrs. Eidinger. So well done there. You win the prize of our gratitude and gratitude.
There's a yellow flag now on the track, Bernie.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm just trying to work out what has called that out, because I don't think we get any random safety cars, do we, in this race?
We'll have to check up with our pit lane reporter, Daniel.
Yeah, one random safety car for tonight, as per instructions. So random generator is luckily enough to provide it now, so it's going to be a very interesting sprint to the finish.
Yeah, it certainly will, and I tell you what, Ian just got in at the right time, didn't he? Because if you get caught out with the safety car and you get caught out with that, you're in big trouble. So Daniel, the question I've got for you is, are we going to expect to see anyone come in under this safety car, or do you think they're just going to go to the end from here?
I think you'd be a bit mad to come in now. I think it's run what you brung from here on out. Ian's definitely going to be in the best position, having come in just towards the end of before this stop. So, having said that, David Moore last lap around was his quickest lap. So it's going to be a bit of fire in the belly for some of these boys. So it should be good.
Yeah, it's definitely going to close it right up, isn't it? And coming into that first turn, it's going to be full on, that's for sure. Now, as far as restarts go, I'm assuming it's, what is it, a single file restart, double file, or it's just go on green?
I believe in this instance it's just go on green.
Okay, so I'll keep an eye on that as well. And if any of them come in the pits, let us know, Daniel. We're going to cross over to Chris now out in the grandstands. And what's the mood out there at the moment, Chris?
Yeah, it's pretty good, Bernie. I think the crowd's just excited to see this race get back underway. I think they're all excited to be up at turn 1 to see what's going to happen up here. I think there's going to be a lot of passes going on.
Yeah, passes or exit stage left going on up there. I think that's probably where you want to be, if anywhere on this track, at the first couple of laps.
Yeah, that's right. I think there's been a lot of craziness, and I think this just might spice it all back up again. They've sort of calmed it down a little bit in the last 10 or so laps, but I think this just might get it back underway again.
Yeah, we can see the safety car lights are out now, folks, so they should be going green next time by. I guess, Bailey, the big question, we've got 9 laps of this race to go, and do you have anyone you think is going to win this race?
Oh, now that the field's bunched up a lot more, Bernie, you can't not back Ian Ford with the speed he's got. Also, you got David Moore, he's showing some wonderful speed tonight. Also up there you've got Bracknell and Life, they've shown some great speed over the last couple of weeks also.
Yeah, I'm going to put my hat on David Moore here, Synergy Sim Racing. Only reason why, well, he has the pace, he's shown he has the pace, but he's also surrounded by a bunch of ERA guys, and there's nothing better than being able to beat like 4 ERA guys and you're a Synergy guy. So I reckon he'll have fire in the belly, and I reckon we're going to see him go forward here.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing the Tim Style Sport car also getting up there. That could be a little bit of fun race there. I'm not sure what's happening there. He's quite up the front. I don't know if he's lapped or not. That's who's that? That's the 015 car. That's Nick Hausler.
Yeah, Nick's. I think Nick's been lapped myself, so just trying to work out where he is in the telemetry. Yeah, he's 26, one lap down. So you'll have to pick again.
Oh, you can't not back Ian Ford. I think I'll go for Ian Ford to close this one out, Bernie.
No worries. And Daniel, there's a bit of action in the pits while we were talking.
Yeah, we just had a couple of about 5 cars just come through for a quick splash. So Wayne Stroll, Tony Gaffer, Brent O'Brien, Chris Parnell. Adam Warburton was still sat in the lane, so he must have a bit of an issue with that car as well.
And while we've got you, have you got a pick for who you think's going to take this win out tonight?
It's going to be hard to go past the ERA cars. They've been probably the class of the field tonight. I'd love to see David fight his way up through the top. I think that would be a well-deserved drive for him.
Fantastic. And Chris, is there any crowd favourites out there that they want to see take out tonight's race?
Well, I don't know about crowd favourites, but I'm going to go for my ex-teammate Nick Cummings. He's been showing a lot of speed lately. He's improved a lot, especially since he's gone over to TTL, so I'm going to look for him to put a couple of moves on.
Yeah, Nick's down there in 6th position in the 400 at the moment. We're going to be going green soon, so in 9 laps time we're going to know who's called it right, but we can see them now accelerating in out of the final corner. Riley Blythe's got a great start here, Bailey, and I think he's caught a few of them napping.
Yeah, a few of them might have been a little bit off guard there, how early he went to the other ones, as Nick Hausler let the 2 ERA guys go through the 2 Logitech Sportset cars. You just see blue all over the front of that field. But Riley Blythe's got a nice gap now of 1.4 seconds.
Yeah, and coming into turn 1 there, Ian went deep under brakes. He gave David a slight hip and shoulder, just nudged him out of the way, so Ian Ford up to 4th and looking to move up. So at the moment you've got Riley Blythe 1st, Cracknell 2nd, Harvey 3rd, 4th is David Moore's now got the position. It looks like Ian might have got a slowdown, because all of a sudden Nick Cummings is battling Ian Ford here. So yeah, it looks like Ian must have got a slowdown. All that work's undone. He's now battling big time with Nick Cummings as he's doing the undercut, trying to get past him. You can see Nick Hausler just in front. He's a lap down, and yeah, Nick's really racy out there tonight. That's Nick Hausler. No, Nick Cummings. Too many Nicks.
Just an update, 777 just had went another one at the last corner there. The guys going off everywhere.
Yeah, that's Michael Talenjak back there. He's had one hell of a race, hasn't he? We saw him earlier in that big incident, and it looks like he's had another one. Just jump back to the replay here.
It looks like he'll park it up in the grass for his race over as he takes the tow truck back to the lane.
So that was Mick Talenjak, was it?
Correct.
Just having a look at the replay. Oh yeah, he spun the 037 around, and it all sort of went crazy from there. Then he gassed it straight into the wall, so a very bad night there for Mick.
We've just had another one, 027 at turn 1. It's just been spun by another driver.
Wow, so it's definitely on. That's Jamie McKnight, who's continuing on. He's got a bit of damage, but meanwhile up front, folks, we've got 7 laps remaining. Riley Blythe is commanding this race, 1.3 seconds over his teammates, Mick Cracknell, Luke Harvey, David Moore there sitting in 4th, 5 seconds down. Then we've got Ian Ford and Nick Cummings battling it out for 4th and 5th position.
Yeah, huge battle going on there with people going 2 to 3 wide around some of these corners. Definitely wouldn't be wanting to be on the position of some of them there on the inside or the middle. They're very dangerous spots. As it looks like they've sorted themselves out and they're going a bit more single file now through the corners. As Riley Blythe gets his quickest lap.
Yeah, he just did a 1:32.662. just having a look, the fastest lap, I can't even read that because my overlays are poor, but tell you who's got the fastest lap of the race, and that goes to David Moore with a 1:32.531.
He's showing speed as he's about 5 seconds behind Riley at the moment, and traffic will definitely slow him down on his mission to podium position.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to find, oh there he is, David Moore's in 4th at the moment. It looks like his march to the front is not going to be tonight because he's 5.1 seconds down, and at the moment we have ERA 1st, 2nd and 3rd, but saying that, Luke Harvey, Mick Cracknell, they're going at it just in front of him, and this will bring him back into the fight.
Yeah, two teammates battling out in between each other can quite often slow themselves down and let their opposition, another driver, catch up to them behind them with the draft, whether it be, or their own mistakes, tripping each other over them. Often give a driver behind them an opportunity to get back up into the spot of possibly passing it.
Yeah, and I asked Brenton O'Brien quite a while ago about ERA and their policy around these close battles, and if they ever have had to issue like race orders on who's going to finish where. Their belief is that they're all racing drivers, they come here, they love to race, as long as they don't run into each other they can race as hard as they want, and that's what I love about any team that issues those sort of orders, because he's right, races are races, and the last thing you want to be is held back by your team, and that's not what ERA is about. They just let them race as hard as they want and enjoy the racing.
Yeah, a lot of teams these days will run those orders there. They don't really want to have to hold each other up, or one slow down and give the opposition a chance of catching them, then and having to give up 1 or 2 positions, 2 positions instead of 1 position. So a lot of them will let them race now unless they crash into each other, as obviously there'll be a few team orders go around for the next race. There's off-track goes the HDR car, not sure exactly which one it is, but they've got a nice livery sponsored by Rocket Signs.
Yeah, I'm just having a look, that might have been Damien Charleston.
Yeah, that was Pagnian there. He's just had a little bit of a wobble off track, and he's back on track to looking through. Run this one out with 4 laps remaining.
We also had Michael Cracknell going off. We're just having a look at this replay to see where he went off. He was actually getting a good break there over Luke Harvey, but I think he's run it wide somewhere, and probably turn 1, I'd say, or the final turn, sorry.
Yeah, Damien almost took out David Moore then, a little bit wobbly coming off turn 1, and he put it a bit sideways but straightened it back up just before he hit David Moore, so that could have been a night changing for David Moore if HDR car had a little bit of a muck up there, but he's back on track, and David seems to be catching the 2 blokes in front of him from ERA with only about 1.5 seconds behind him.
Yeah, and we just heard a few people talking about this incident that Ian Ford had at the restart with David when they had a bit of hip and shoulder, and I called it, I thought he might have had a slowdown, but the people in our chat room are thinking he may have readdressed that incident and let David Moore back in front. But at the moment, Ian's now on the back of David and putting the pressure on, because I reckon ERA is looking for 1, 2, 3 and 4 here tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Ian Ford's still got a little bit of time, 3 laps to go on the board. He's got the chance, he just needs to get that right power down onto the foot, but David Moore's definitely showing a fight tonight. With just over a second now behind 2 ERA guys, so they're definitely having a little bit of trouble in between each other, but they should hold each other out.
Yeah, definitely, and there's a bit of a battle going on at the moment. Well, there's a huge battle going on, 10th, 11th, 12th at the moment between Posey, Brian Borg, Jake Maloney as they go 3 wide off turn 1. and behind them you've got Todd Parks and Michael Ford.
Yeah, not too long ago, less than 2 laps ago, Posey had a little bit of a spin on the back area of the track, which made him drop a few positions, unfortunately, as a few cars got by. He'll try and get back up into a decent position where he'll be happy at here for the SSR boys. He could possibly slow down for that one. He seemed to cut that corner quite a bit, but it doesn't look like he has.
Yeah, he was pretty... Oh, there's a big crash behind them too, and there was Brian Borg involved in that. And we'll catch a replay of that, because Brian had his car up on 2 wheels there. It looked pretty hairy.
Yeah, not long with Brian Borg. There was the, just getting a number for you, Bernie. The 00 car was, looked like to be the one up on 2 wheels of Henry King.
Yeah, that's Henry King, all right, going around big time. I think Henry was trying to stay out of their way, because I don't think he was involved in that. Well, he was 15th, so he was involved. But I tell you what, he got the short back and sides there, Bailey.
Yeah, it looked like Maloney had a little bit of a sneak peek up the side of Brian Borg, and just clipped the back end of his car that made him spin into Henry King, and that just played out from there.
Yeah, so with 2 laps to go, we're coming up to the last lap soon. Riley Blythe, 4.5 seconds lead, and the race is his to lose at this point. But we've just seen now Michael Cracknell slowing down, Luke Harvey going through, David Moore now backed up, and Ian Ford having a look on the inside. David's flashing a bit, but I tell you what, all of a sudden his mirrors are full of Ian Ford, and Ian's definitely wanting that position.
Yeah, for sure, as we've just come up on the hour mark of this race with 1 lap pretty much to run.
I just heard from Daniel, it sounds like Brian Borg might have retired, mate.
Yeah, possibly sustained a little damage with that hip and shoulder move, so I think the boys have retired the car for the night.
It's so unfortunate with only a couple of laps of racing to go, but up front at the moment, Ian's putting the pressure on David now, and I tell you what, David's fighting. He wants that position, but Ian wants it just as bad. So we've got the last lap mark board out now, folks, so this is it. At the moment, though, the gap for the lead, 5.2 seconds, and then we've got Luke Harvey, Michael Cracknell, David Moore, and we're riding with Ian Ford here at Circuit of the Americas.
Been a wonderful drive by Riley Blythe tonight. He showed dominance earlier on in the race, and as you can see now, getting such a massive gap, 5.5 seconds. Top of Luke Harvey and his other 2 teammates, Michael Cracknell and Ian Ford. Also David Moore from CG Sim Racing there. He's showing his dominance tonight, Bernie.
He certainly is, and he's the only one out there in the MPMS simulation livery. All the other ERA guys up the front are in the Logitech livery, and we're seeing the leader now go through, and then back to their sister cars. We're seeing, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Ian goes here, but we'll just jump back up to our leader as we see now Riley Blythe coming through the corner for the final time here at Circuit of the Americas, and takes a well-earned win for the MPMS Racing Simulators ERA entry. Going back to second, it'll be Luke Harvey holding out Michael Cracknell, and then I've lost telemetry. So
it looked like, don't count me on this one, but it looks like Ian Ford snuck up in the 4th position, and that looks like there'll be a 1, 2, yes it is, 1, 2, 3, 4 ERA.
Wow, so let's jump back and have a look at that, because they dropped off my telemetry, would you believe? So let's go back and have a look at this closing passing move.
Oh, don't count me on it now. I think my telemetry's broken, because now iRacing is, in my telemetry, external telemetry is saying different things, so I'm not quite sure what happened.
Yeah, it's looking pretty close. It looked like Ian took it, but then he braked on the finish line, and it looks like David Moore went through to take that fourth position. Bit confusing here, folks.
Yep, it's been given to David Moore now, and Ford in 5th position.
So that was quite an interesting race, Bailey. There's more strategy involved than I was expecting, and of course there was quite a bit of carnage out there.
Yeah, it sure was. There was quite a lot of carnage up in the first couple of laps there, and you sure also on the restart there was a few cars wanted to get a few positions up and do their best. There is Riley Blythe was able to hold him out, and David Moore's doing a couple of burnouts for Hills. Riley Blythe for a second, not sure why, but he was doing a couple of victory burnouts for his wonderful efforts tonight.
Fantastic. We always like to see them celebrating. See Craig Jones out there in the 111. He's finished in 12th position, and I have a feeling he's run out of fuel. We've seen that a few times, but Waysouse Racing cutting it very close there, and now he's going to go again. I think he just wanted to, what he was doing, he was baiting us, wasn't he?
Airtime for sure.
Yeah, let's turn the car off and roll it for a bit, and then once I'm on camera I'll accelerate and make them all look like dills. Now we stopped. We can see the burnouts here. Dora Explorer getting into it with the sister car, the Secure entry, and now they're going to nerf each other, but that could be two pink skins, who knows.
Love the Dora Explorer skin.
Yeah, it's pretty catching, isn't it? But anyway, let's go through the full finishing results here, folks, so you can see where your favourite drivers finished. We'll also go through the amount of DNFs, because it looks like there's quite a few that have not made the end of this race. So your top 10, Riley Blythe takes out the win, followed by Luke Harvey in second, Mick Cracknell third, David Moore comes home in fourth, followed by Ian Ford in fifth. Nick Cummings holds on to sixth. Then we have Hins in seventh, eighth Jake Maloney, Todd Parks ninth, and Pete Sattler round out your top 10.
Yeah, 11th come home Michael Ford, 12th was Greg Jones, in 13th was Darryl Hockey, Mark Samuel was in 14th, Chris Pennell in 15th, in 16th was Alan Hodgson, 17th was Brendan Jackson, 18th Sean Chappell, 19th Jamie Owens, and rounding out your top 20 is Henry King.
21st was Brenton O'Brien, followed by Nick Hausler in 22nd. Then we had Tregarthen home in 23rd, followed by Simon Mazzomo in 24th. Purden comes home in 25th, followed by Pincan, and then Hamilton in 27th. Gaffer comes home in 28th, followed by McKnight in 29th, and Stroh round out your top 30.
Carlston 31st. Posey unfortunately drops quite back into 32nd. Brian Borg in the 33rd. He parked that one. 34th was Andrew Johnson. 35th was Cody Trainer. 36th was Daryl Carter. 37 was Michael Trallich. In 38th was Matt Torkins. 39th was Stephen Varga. And 40th was Adam Weinberg. Burn.
Home in 41st was Pavlovich, followed by Brady Myers, 17 laps down. Sean Evans comes home in 43rd, 44th. Sean Thompson Rayner comes home in 45th. Janes in 46th. Clowett comes home in 47th. Ryan O'Sullivan in 48th. 49th is Pitt, followed by Brodie Morris in 50th position.
Wonderful race tonight, Bernie, as it looks like we've got a couple of people ready for their interviews down in the green room, but now we'll get a little bit of an update from Daniel. And what do you think of the race, Daniel?
Yeah, it was very good. Good to be out at the track, see the boys run. A few operators with some rather bent machinery for the end of the race, which I think we all kind of expected that might happen. But I think overall, yeah, the good to see the ERA boys. 1, 2, 3. Just missing, top 4 just by a fraction of a second there. So, hats off to those guys, done well. But yeah, no, I think it was very, very good.
And what's the overall vibe down there in pit lane amongst the teams? Is there any issues going on between drivers, or is everyone pretty much happy with the way things turned out?
There's probably going to be a couple of issues with a few moves. I think Brian might be one. He seemed to shut the car off after that incident with where he nerfed that young fella up on the couple of wheels of the Autobahn car. But other than that, I think it's hard where everyone's trying to get on the same piece of real estate. So hopefully after this, the issue will sort of abate, and everyone will be back here next week for another good race.
Fantastic. And Chris, what's it like out there with the grandstand? Did they enjoy the racing, and what was your thoughts on it?
I think everybody loved it, Bernie. It was pretty exciting to watch all the carnage. That's what the fans come to see. Not so much the teams. They don't like the Bills afterwards. But it was a pretty exciting race. Good on ERA. Locked out the podium, and I thought the racing was pretty good.
Fantastic. Well, Bailey, it's unanimous. Everyone seems to have enjoyed the race, so we should get on with the interviews. What do you reckon?
It's that time for interviews.
Now the question is, we have so many ERA guys, do we just bring them all up at once and let them loose?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I like that. Let's bring them all up. Hi guys, I'll just make sure that all the ERA guys up here.
That it is.
Yeah, I mean,
I nearly brought Michael Ford up, then I remembered he's not ERA, he's in another team. Well done, guys. Fantastic effort. I think you got 1, 2 and 3, and it looks like just on the line Ian's redressed an incident with Mr. Moore, which put him back in 5th. But I tell you what, so many ERA cars out there tonight and so many dominating the top 5. You guys must be very happy with that outcome.
absolutely. I was actually quite shocked when I saw my initial pace. I think I have to put it down to Luke's setup work. His setup is absolutely fantastic. And Ian Ford, he did a couple little adjustments to it, and off we went. We were, at least from my perspective, the car was absolutely fantastic. I can't speak for everyone, but basically I managed to keep myself out of trouble, and that's how I ended up in the lead. Some of us weren't so lucky.
Yeah, and you were, of course, in the MPMS simulator paint job tonight, where the other guys are in the Logitech, so it's good to have the MPMS simulator sponsor on your car, on the winning car, and giving them some great airtime as well.
Absolutely, they're a fantastic bunch of guys. They got their workshop up in the Gold Coast. You can check out some of their pretty awesome simulators. I haven't yet to go up there actually myself, but from the video I've been shown, it's absolutely amazing. So you can sort something out if you happen to be up that way, and you won't regret it.
So do they actually sell simulators to the public, or are they doing the retails, like the commercial simulators? What exactly do they do?
I'm pretty sure they're on. You can buy simulators from them. They will also set them up commercially. You can basically just hit up their email with an inquiry. Which, hang on, I will get the email up for you.
What, you're going to send them an email? Awesome. Dear sir, I'll dictate. You can type it. Here we go.
You can send across an email. I wish I could find it. Oh, here we go. There's a phone number. 614-013-49626 that you can call up that number and make an inquiry about, I'd like to get this sort of set up, and off you go.
Fantastic. Well, I'll definitely look into that. But getting back to the race at the moment, it looked like we're guessing, but it looked like Ian might have been fuel saving. We could be wrong. But were any of you guys fuel saving tonight, or was it pretty much just run it to the end and chuck some fuel in it?
You'd be absolutely right in assuming Ian was fuel saving. But that was just, I think, so he could run out the stint a little longer, which obviously you could see he did. But for the bulk of us, it was more about pitting early and getting our pit stop out of the way before the safety car came out, because we were very concerned about getting that stop in before it came out, because if we had to take it after, we would be way back in the field. So luckily we all managed to get that in before the safety car. Ian was cutting it very fine. He pitted the lap before the safety car, and we but otherwise we were pretty much just running flat stick.
Yeah, we called it. We thought that Ian definitely cut it very close to that safety car, but also further back we had Luke Harvey battling it out with Mick Cracknell here, and you guys looked like you were having a great fun scrap there for most of the race.
Yeah, it was really fun. First stint there, I was just fuel saving there with 40. As soon as it come time that I could make it on the end fuel, I pitted, thinking there was going to be an early safety car, but turns out it wasn't. So I ended up, doing sort of 25 sort of laps on the tyres, which wasn't ideal, but I think that was the only way I was ever going to get up the field, by taking a bit of a gamble. And yeah, it was good fun there with Mick at the end, but unfortunately got a slow down on the second last lap, but recovered well and kept it in third.
Yeah, no, good effort. It was great to see you guys scrapping it out. And earlier, Luke, it looked like you were having a battle with Ian as well. And he was a bit of a cork in the bottle, because, of course, we know he was fuel saving and you were trying to get around him. Eventually you did. But that must have been a little bit frustrating for you.
Well, I was using him as a bit of a pace. I was happy to save fuel there behind him, thinking that we were going to make the most of an early stop and an early safety car, which didn't eventuate. But as it turned out, I ended up jumping up a few spots anyway because of that fuel saving. So, I wasn't too worried about trying to get past Ian or anything.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to hand you over now to Bailey. I'm sure, Bailey, you got some questions for these guys?
Yeah, well, congratulations, guys, on 1, 2, 3 tonight. We're all wondering exactly what Bernie asked. Was he fuel saving, etc.? But to be honest, I haven't really got much to ask you guys at all.
Sorry.
Yeah, you put me on the spot because I was kind of distracted for a second. Sorry.
I could see that. You were eyeing off the sandwiches again. That's why I threw you in the deep end.
Maybe I was Daniel.
Well, this is Mick's first race in the AOSC with ERA, so we should hand it over to him for a while.
Yeah.
Cheers, Luke.
It's what we do. You'll get used to it.
Yeah, all good. All good. Thanks, guys. It was a good race. I was pretty happy to come home third. I was a bit disappointed that I threw it away in the second last lap. But I was happy to get third in ERA 1, 2, 3. So good bunch of blokes to be with, and enjoying the racing.
Fantastic. Well, I've thrown Bailey under the bus, so let's see if we can throw Daniel under the bus as well. Daniel, have you got any questions for these guys?
Probably just only one question for you fellas. Like, how did you find the tyre drop off over the course of the race? Because I don't believe any of you boys took tyres tonight.
We took tyres in our main stop for fuel, because we're 30. The amount of fuel we're putting in, you can get tyres in without actually losing any time. So I believe we all took tyres, but the drop-off is pretty interesting, because it's very good for about the first lap. So qualifying is one lap, and then you're not going to get a quicker one. And then it drops a little bit, and then it plateaus. And once you reach sort of the 20 lap mark, we were experiencing some drop-off. But it's a pretty flat, like it's drops off initially and then it just kind of stays put. It's pretty interesting, but it's honestly I prefer it like that because I don't have to be constantly adapting to a degrading car.
Yeah, and did you find the cars got a lot better through the course of the run once the rubber started hitting the track as well?
It was easier
No.
to hold.
I'm saying no.
I found it easier to hold onto the line, maybe because it's a nice point of reference for me, but I was having more issues with lockups and stuff early in the race than I was later on. But obviously crackers disagree, so it's a matter of preference.
Yeah. Well, just from us, congratulations to you boys. 1, 2, 3. It's a great result for you.
Yeah, cheers, Daniel.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, fantastic result, guys, and another dominant finish for ERA. But before we let you guys go, you got quite a few sponsors to go through, and I think it's only fitting that since Riley won the race, he should be the one that calls them all out.
I was waiting for that. But yeah, absolutely. Big thanks first to Logitech G. They've supplied us with some rock steady and very lovely G29 and G920 wheels. By extension, thanks to GTI for the springs, the upgraded springs that are going in the pedals. They help a great deal. Of course, thanks to MPMS Racing Simulators, we've already elaborated on their service before. Thanks to Joel Real Timing, their program is utterly fantastic. I think we probably would have all overfueled or underfueled the car had it not been for it, and I was able to help people out with their tyre stints and stuff, and generally get a whole bunch of data you wouldn't get otherwise. Luke, can you think of anyone I'm missing? Surely I am.
MS Limited.
MS Limited Edition, thank you. That I believe that competition is still running. Donate to the Multiple Sclerosis Foundation and go in the running to win a Mercedes.
Fantastic. I'd love to win a Mercedes, that's for sure.
Don't we all?
No, well done, guys. Once again, congratulations. And I guess, how's the ERA campaign shaping up for the World GT3 Championship when that gets off the ground?
That's making steady progress. We've got our 2 cars, and that and we're still with the balance of performance. We're still bouncing around car choice and everything. It's been very busy trying to figure out what car will be best come the start of the season. But everyone's been working pretty hard, so I have good faith that they'll get it sorted for the season. We'll have some competitive cars by round 1.
Fantastic. Well, we're definitely looking forward to that, and no doubt they'll be able to catch that live on iRacing. Probably RaceSpot TV will more than likely be broadcasting that one.
Absolutely. I believe RaceSpot TV will be broadcasting every round, so those are a good bunch of fellas, and they put on a fantastic stream, as do you guys at RRTV. So it'll be good to watch. I know I'll be watching it, if not helping some of the guys out with spectating. So yeah, that's going to be enjoyable.
Fantastic. Definitely look forward to that. Anyway, guys, thanks for coming in tonight. You can go off and celebrate, and I'll let you take the weekend off. How about that? You can sit down and watch the Formula Ones on telly tomorrow. Tell Brenton I said you can have the weekend off.
Cheers,
That was
Bernie.
the plan. Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
All right, see you guys.
Yeah.
So our next interview, Bailey, is with David Moore. He was for Synergy Sim Racing, and I think he came home in 4th position. If I bring him up, did you want to start the interview?
Yeah, no worries, Bernie. Bring him on up from the green room. Welcome, David, to the RRTV Combox. How you going, mate?
Hey guys, yeah, good.
That's good to hear. Coming home in fourth position tonight. Very close one to the line with Ian Ford there. How'd your race go?
Yeah, it started off all right from P1 and sort of held the position there, and pulled away for a little while. But yeah, when it came to the fuel stopper, kind of buggered that up. Yeah, just ended up fueling the car right up to the top, so I wasn't watching what I was doing. Just filled it up. She's full and drove off. Found myself back in fifth place or something.
Yeah, fair enough. And did you have a little bit of a muddle up with Ian Ford at one point?
Yeah, look, I think at the restart after the safety car, yeah, 40 made the move. I thought he was going to make the move, but yeah, he got it done, and well done to him. But yeah, on the last lap, yeah, went for a dive down there. So I'm not sure what he did. I think he just braked at the line or something. I'm not sure, but to let me through, because we did have a bit of a touch, but you know, got the position. He should have got that fourth place.
Yeah, fair enough. And throughout the race, how are you finding? Were you taking tyres at your main stop? Sorry.
Yeah, tyres. Well, they held out all right. It wasn't a real problem. Just after the pit stop, and realised I had so much fuel in the car and lost so many positions because of it, I just pushed as hard as I could. So that kind of burnt me tyres, and didn't really have much towards the end to catch the other guys from ERA. They did a pretty good job.
Yeah, fair enough. And I'm sure Bernie and Daniel have a few questions, but we'll hand it over to Bernie for a second.
Yeah, David, fantastic race. You definitely had the pace there, and the undoing, as you said, was the pit stop. We actually got the timing. I think your stop was around about 27.1 seconds compared to the ERA boys. They were around about the 16 second. So that's definitely what's hurt you there. But what's it like racing around with so many Logitech cars around you? You must have felt like you were going cross-eyed there for a while.
Yeah, just blue cars everywhere. It was crazy. But no, it was a good challenge. I enjoyed the challenge of taking on those guys. They're all quick. Luke and Crackers and Ian, Riley, they're all quick guys. So I enjoyed the challenge of trying to take it to them. So I hope they enjoy the challenge back. It's been a long time trying to get to their speed. So yeah, it's been a great.
Yeah, fantastic. No, you definitely had the pace there, and it was just unfortunate about that pit stop. But my money was on you. You'll be happy to know we went through the whole commentary team here, and I wanted to see you get up there and take the win. And you're representing.
My bad.
You're representing Synergy Sim Racing and doing it with style. So fantastic. But my final question for you before we hand you over to Daniel is: we had like 50 cars out there tonight. What's it like racing around 4Ks of COTA with so many V8 supercars? Also sharing the track with you?
Yeah, I was pretty busy out there trying to find your way around the cars. And look, they were racing each other as well, and it's hard for them to move out of the way. But yeah, you just got to deal with it and try and get through without having an incident or anything. But yeah, we got through all right. It was just, enjoyable race, apart from the pit stop. But other than that, it's a good race.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to see if Daniel, our pit reporter's got any more questions for you, David.
Only one. Just want to a bit of a congratulations. I think you set the fastest lap of the race tonight, so that's
nice.
Congratulations to yourself there. Just in regards to the car and driver comfort out there, how did you find it for the race tonight?
Yeah, really good actually. Just loaded up a setup and felt good around the track, and yeah, once the tyres stabilised, it was pretty good actually.
That's excellent. Back markers and the likes out there didn't look like there was too much issue for you. The car come home nice and straight, so I think might have had a pretty easy run there.
I look like I was saying to Bernie, there was a few, but you just got to deal with it. I mean, they were racing each other as well, so just got to try and find your way through without hitting those guys as well. So yeah, it's just got to deal with it.
Yeah, excellent. And just before we wrap this up, did you want to give a shout out to any of your sponsors at all?
Yeah, CSR Fabrications. What else have we got on there? Yeah, Eaton, and just all the guys at SSR. You know, they all help out with everything. Hobbo with all the videos, and Reese with all the paints. They do an absolutely fantastic job. Yeah, and just all the guys, mate. They're all great bunch. Enjoy it.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for popping in, David. It was a pleasure watching you out there. Definitely had the pace tonight. Unfortunately, overfilled a bit, but still a great result and well fought out there, considering you're the only SSR guy amongst a sea of ERA blokes.
Yeah, it's a good showing. Hopefully, we can take that into next week in Scots as well. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, fantastic. Anyway, we'll let you go, and we'll probably see you next round of the AOSC, which is next Friday night, I think, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, no worries, guys. Thanks very much for having me.
So, folks, our final interview for tonight is Thomas Hinds, and we'll bring Thomas up and have a chat with him. So Thomas came home in 7th position. Well done, Thomas, and welcome to the RRTV Combox. What was the race like for you out there tonight?
Well, thank you very much for that. Yeah, it was pretty solid. I mean, as I was saying to the guys in the team speak, I'm actually not going off that much sleep, so I kind of came to this race and I was sort of, not at my peak. I reckon I was only probably at 75-80%, to be honest. You know, I just was sitting there driving. I reckon most of it was just memory. Like, I just felt like I was just like, whoa, just kind of going along. And so I just came in for the pre-qual. They just kind of put in a lap that was top 20. I was like, right, that'll do. That's good enough. And then actual quality managed to get 13th, I think it was, for the mid-33, which was, put me thereabouts. It's better than I was expecting. So I was like, yep, cool. And then, it was, first lap was a bit interesting. There's a few people spun, and it was a bit touch and go, but we sort of all sorted ourselves out there at I think it was the back end, or low teens in the first few laps. They just sort of got into a rhythm. It was behind Michael Ford, I think, for a lot of that first stint, just kind of going along, just trying to keep it clean. I think I had Todd Parks was sort of trying to get past me for a lot of that stint, but I managed to hold him off, which was good, because I think he was faster than I was. I just managed to keep it clean, and he just couldn't get past. And just sort of started going a bit further forward. I think I got up to sort of 8th, 9th with a few people having issues. Pitted pretty much bang on halfway. Popped in the fuel, put on the tyres, came out, I think I was behind a couple of guys, but got past them pretty quick, and and the safety car came out. I think I was behind Cummings, but obviously a few traffic cars, and a few, Posy and a few other guys behind, so I was kind of expecting to get a bit sort of assaulted after the safety car, and got a clean start, and Posy got by me, I think, on that first lap. He went down inside at one of the corners. I just can't let him have it, because I knew he was quicker than I was, so I just thought, I'll just let him do his race. I'll be happy to take a top 10 here, and I think he had a half spin. Had some other issues as well, which dropped him back, so put me into 7th. Just after that, thankfully, I think all the guys behind, Maloney and Parks are trying to come through, so they all start to battle on that. Just let me sort of eke out a gap. Just sort of hung off the back of Cummings and brought it home, really. That last after the safety car, I was basically just trying to bring it home, because I was not expecting top 10. I'll be honest, I was not expecting top 10, because I think it's my best result in this league. So to be only about 8 seconds or 7 seconds off the likes of Ian Ford. I know it's a safety car there, but to be not too far off those guys is, I'm pretty chuffed with that, because I know they're very fast. So, it was good, very good race, especially considering I didn't feel like I was at my peak performance. So good stuff. Good stuff.
Fantastic. And you're saying you started out at 13th. What was the feeling sitting there on the grid in 13th, looking up the hill at that first hairpin, and thinking about how 50 V8 supercars were going to fit through there? What exactly was going through your mind at that point?
I was a little bit, I was sceptical, let's just say, with like 40 or 50 cars going to that first corner. I was sitting there going, there's probably going to be carnage somewhere. I just hope it's not around me. So yeah, I was a little bit, I was quite nervous, but thankfully just kind of kept it clean. As I said, it was a little bit touch and go around sort of where I was there in that first lap, and a couple of guys ahead spun as well. It sort of all got a bit congested, but thankfully we all sorted ourselves out. I think thankfully the guys around me were all just sort of trying to keep it clean, which helped, so no one did anything too stupid. So we were able to sort ourselves out, and then we got on it from there. So yeah, I was definitely a little bit like, oh god, this could go wrong, but thankfully it didn't. So yeah, it all sort of worked out. So yeah, considering I wasn't really expecting. I mean, I would have been happy with probably even a top 15 or 20 really from tonight. So to get a top 10, I'm very very chuffed with that indeed.
Fantastic, and we're having a look at your car on the screen at the moment. It's sporting a really nice paint job. Did you do that, or did you have one of the painters prepare that for you?
It was one of the painters, I think, prepared that new livery for us, obviously with our new sponsor, Edge Auto Concepts. Big thanks to them, of course, and Carney and the rest of the older sponsors for coming on board. GTI as well, of course, was really sponsors of what keeps us going as a team, give us the backing we need to do well. So obviously big thanks to them as always. But they've come on board, of course, I think for this new season, and then we had the new livery made up for the Falcon, and it's a beautiful livery, really really nice. So yeah, very very pretty, very very pretty. Although the GTI one that I was using is probably just as pretty, I would almost say. They're pretty close, and even the Kayani one I think is pretty in a bit of a different way, especially on the Falcon. But they all just look really nice. So it's good to. It's kind of nice to be driving a car that looks that pretty. Although then, when you do bend it up, it does kind of make you feel a bit worse because you're just sitting there going, "Oh no, that beautiful livery is is no more." so yeah, no, but it's good that we've got another sponsor on board for us for PFR, and hopefully, continue getting these kind of results. I know Brennan. He had a few issues further back in the field. I think he had some moments and had a few little bits of contact and stuff as he was in the melees, but he managed to still get a 17th. So yeah, he did really well as well to salvage a decent result from a bit of a sort of messy race for him.
Fantastic. And what do Edge Auto Concepts do? Are they? It sounds like they take cars and they sort of experiment on them.
I think they Yeah, I'll be honest, I actually don't really know. I know terrible, I should really know they're doing, but yeah, I'd assume that's what they... Okay, yeah, I think they do designs. Yeah, they mess around, as you say, with designs and that kind of thing. So very fitting, isn't it? Very fitting that they're on got a new livery for them that kind of fits what they do as well. So yeah, as I said, it's great that we've got them on board. That's really nice. Adds another sponsor. Yeah, hopefully we can get more. Obviously, the more the better. Never have enough sponsors. So yeah, we'll see how we go. But it's a bit of an up and down. It's obviously Matt, I think, had some issues, and obviously Sean, I think, had some moments throughout the race that were not too good, but managed to keep it clean and bring home something. So next week, look forward to next week. I actually don't know what the track is next week, but whatever it is, I'm sure I'll enjoy it because V8s are V8s. How can you not love driving them? So wherever it is, I'm sure it's going to be great fun. So I didn't expect to enjoy COTA in these cars, to be honest, but apparently I had decent pace here. Don't know how, and I didn't. I went too bad for Ranty, surprisingly. So I was quite surprised, but in a good way from this week from COTA. So that's good as well.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to hand you over to Bailey now and see if he's got any more questions for you.
All right.
Yeah, congratulations, Thomas, on 7th position, mate.
Thank you.
As you're driving along throughout the race, and obviously you said you're very tired, and etc. And you ever feel like you lose concentration in the car as forget pretty much sometimes what you're actually doing there?
Yeah, well, I guess as I said, I was certainly, I think there's moments where you can easily just kind of zone out. I think one of the things I think there's a difference between being in the zone and going on autopilot. There's a bit of a difference there. I think in the zone, obviously, you're in a really fantastic mindset. You're just feeling the car fantastically and all that. And then if you go into autopilot, I feel like that's where mistakes come because you're not necessarily in a good mind, mentally in a good mindset with the car and good feeling with it. You just kind of doing the motions. So I think that's where the danger is. And I think there's a few moments I think I felt like I did kind of edge towards that autopilot mode. But I just tried to keep myself, concentrating, just be like, all right, don't slip too far into that. Just keep yourself in the race and concentrating on what's ahead and just trying to keep the car straight. So yeah, definitely was a bit harder tonight, I think, because I was it wasn't quite as sort of high concentration levels as I'd usually have. But yeah, I managed to. Yeah, it all kind of worked out. But I surprised myself because I kind of thought, to be honest, I'd at least have one major moment somewhere. But thankfully, I managed to sort of keep the head there and not let it wander too much. So yeah, but it was definitely a bit more of a challenge than it normally would be.
Yeah, awesome. And lastly, Daniel, if you got any questions for Tom?
Not a lot. I think the only one really is how are you going to find going from COTA to the next race venue in Suzuka? Like, obviously, going to be a little bit of a change as far as setup's concerned with the car to ride some of the S's and the likes. Do you think there's going to be much that you guys are going to need to do to adapt this car to suit that track?
Yeah, well, thank you for telling me now what's coming next week. Yeah, we might be a little bit, because obviously Suzuka's, COTA's got a little bit of elevation, but obviously Suzuka's a pretty different circuit. It's quite a different beast from COTA, so we might need to do a little bit of tweaking with the setup. So yeah, it might be a bit of play that we might have to do there. But yeah, I don't mind Suzuka. I haven't really tried it in a car like the V8 though, so I'm not really sure what to expect. So we'll see. I've done the GT3s around there and they've been good fun, so fingers crossed these aren't too bad. But I think it'll be a new experience for me, for sure, because I haven't actually driven the V8s around Suzuka as of yet, so it's going to be a new experience for me, but hopefully it's okay. But so far, every track I've been to is with these cars has worked out more or less okay. As I said, COTA here I was expecting to be a little bit awkward, but it works out well, thankfully, as we were talking about in the team chat. The West circuit we're using is probably the best one at COTA for these cars, so that sort of worked out. So fingers crossed, Suzuka sort of works out well. I feel like that first sector could be a bit interesting, especially when the tyres get worn. The left right, constant chaining corners. That first sector might get a bit dicey. But yeah, if I can just do my usual thing, just keep it clean, just try and stay out of trouble and put in some decent laps. Hopefully, reap the rewards like I did today. So yeah, fingers crossed it goes well. I do like Suzuka though, so I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent, mate. Well, we look to see you out on track again next week, and congratulations on 7th result tonight.
Thank you very much, and thanks for the broadcast, guys.
So folks, that was Thomas Hinds, and he came home in 7th. But before we wrap this up, let's have a look at the way the point score is after tonight's round. So I'll just bring it up here. So as you can see, folks, Ian Ford is currently leading the standings with 2,339 points. And then second is his teammate Riley Blythe on 2,300 points, followed by Luke Harvey, also for ERA, on 1,934 points. Then there's a bit of a gap down to Brady Myers in 4th. He's on 1,473 points, and then rounding out your top 5 is Laser Racing's Brian Borg on 1,465 points. So that's your top 5 in the standings as they are at the end of tonight's round. So looking forward, folks, we're nearly at the end of this broadcast, but looking forward, we've got a surprise broadcast this Sunday night. We'll be broadcasting the Australia versus UK and Ireland clubs Skip Barber showdown at Bathurst, and basically we will have a UK commentator in the combox, and I won't say who it is. It's a surprise UK commentator, and Alex McKellar will be representing Australia for the Skip Barber race. It's going to be interesting. It's basically the top 10 Australian Skip Barber drivers who time trialled this week will get a start versus the top 10 UK and Ireland club Skip Barber drivers who have time trialled at Bathurst this week. We're not exactly sure who they all are. It's still being decided right up until Sunday afternoon, and then they'll all be invited in to one big race, and they'll be getting points for not only their qualifying but also where they finish. At the end of the night, the team or that has the most points will win. We'll also hopefully have live point updates as the race progresses, so you can see how your favourite team is, whether they're winning, whether they're not. We'll be able to tell as positions change, so it should be very exciting. As far as the time of this broadcast, folks, check out the Facebook page, because it's been such short notice. I don't even know what time we're going on air yet, but it's going to be an exciting night, and hopefully you guys will join us and find out who this mystery British commentator is, and I'm sure you'll all enjoy it immensely. But Bailey, it looks like that's the end of our night, mate, and any final thoughts of tonight's race?
Oh, you can't say it wasn't a good race. It was a great one with a lot of fun, different races, etc. A lot of crashing and bashing in it, which the crowd loves. Great to see Daniel down there in the pit lane for us tonight, Bernie, and Chris in the crowd for us.
Yeah, it certainly was, and a big thanks to Chris out there with the spectators. Hopefully, Chris, you survived out there and the people didn't get too rowdy for you. Can't really hear him. I think he might have his microphone muted, or he might have been yelling so loudly he's lost his voice.
He might have been taken over by the crowd.
Oh, sorry about that. My headphones usually mute themselves every now and again. No, that was a good race. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And thanks again for bringing me on.
Fantastic. And what were your thoughts, Daniel? We had you down the pits there. It looked like you had your hands full there pretty much all night as all the damaged cars came streaming through.
Yeah, well, we had there were a few bent cars. Like I said earlier, it was just the nature of the race, but it was good to see everyone turn up. You know, field's fantastic. On a lot of times, you know, guys can race hard and not have any issues. You do get the odd one here and there, but thoroughly enjoyed it. Very, very good.
Fantastic. Well, folks, we hope you've enjoyed tonight's coverage of the Australian Online Supercar Series here from COTA, Round 9. We'll be back next week to call another race. I think it's another 150, and that's going to be equally as exciting. We hope you can join us then. But in the meantime, folks, if you want to check out this Skip Barber Challenge on Sunday night, check out my Facebook page, facebook.com/Redback Racing TV. I'll have the schedule up there tomorrow on exactly what time the broadcast will be going on air. But until that, folks, we hope you have a good night. On behalf of Bailey Hall, Daniel Leet, Chris Hinton, I'm Bernie Wiemers, and thanks for joining us, and we look forward to your company next time. Good night.